Hello friends. When we talk about Leo in the language of love, we are speaking about one of the most vivid and powerful signs in the zodiac. Picture fire itself, warm, dazzling, but also demanding respect. That's Leo in love. They do not just enter relationships, they create them like a stage play where passion, boldness, and loyalty take the spotlight. To understand Leo in matters of the heart, we have to explore not just the romantic glow they carry but also the complexities that shape their journey in love. The passionate flame in love. Leo is ruled by the sun, and that's no coincidence. Just as the sun is the undeniable center of our solar system, radiating heat and light that sustains all life, Leo in love becomes the central force of their relationship. They don't just participate in love passively, they embody it, fuel it, and demand that it grows bigger and brighter. Imagine being with someone whose love feels like a blazing campfire on a cold night. You cannot help but be drawn closer, mesmerized, warmed, and at times, nearly overwhelmed by the intensity of the flame. That's the essence of Leo's passionate approach to romance. When a Leo falls in love, it's rarely quiet or subtle. The shift is noticeable, both to the partner and to everyone around them. Their friends see it in the way they talk more animatedly, their family notices the glow in their demeanor, and the partner experiences firsthand the flood of attention, gifts, and affection that Leo pours into the bond. Leo does not hide love behind modest gestures, they declare it boldly, openly, almost theatrically. They believe that love is not just an emotion to be felt but a stage to be celebrated. This overwhelming flame of passion has many sides. On the one hand, it feels like a rare privilege to be loved by a Leo. They make their partner feel special in ways few other signs can manage. A Leo might surprise their lover with elaborate dates, heartfelt letters, or spontaneous adventures designed to create memories that last a lifetime. They want their partner to not just feel loved, but to see it, hear it, and experience it in vivid color. To them, love without expression is like the sun hidden behind clouds. It exists, but it doesn't fulfill its true purpose. But this same fire that warms can also scorch. Leo's need for passion and devotion means they rarely tolerate indifference or half-hearted affection. They want answers to unspoken questions. Are you completely with me? Can you match my intensity? Will you stand by me, not just in words but in energy, loyalty, and action? If the partner answers these questions with a wholehearted yes, then the relationship thrives in the golden glow of Leo's loyalty. The warmth is steady, the passion unshakable, and the bond almost unbreakable. Yet if the answer is hesitant or lukewarm, Leo feels it immediately, and that flame can turn from comforting to overwhelming, even suffocating. What does this mean for the partner of a Leo? It means living in a relationship that is anything but ordinary. Life with a Leo is vibrant, spontaneous, and alive. They thrive on giving, but they also thrive on receiving the same energy back. If their partner mirrors their passion, Leo becomes even more radiant, proud, and deeply committed. However, if their partner hesitates or retreats, Leo's flame flickers with frustration. They may feel unappreciated, and in their hurt, they can become demanding, dramatic, or even fiery in anger. The blessing of Leo's passion lies in the joy of never being bored. A Leo will make sure that love feels like a grand adventure, full of highs, laughter, and golden moments. Their natural ability to create excitement keeps the relationship alive long after the honeymoon phase. For many partners, this is exactly what they've always longed for, a love that feels larger than life, vibrant, and ever-present. But the challenge cannot be overlooked. Loving a Leo requires emotional courage, resilience, and a willingness to embrace intensity. Their flame does not allow space for half-effort. Partners who prefer a calm, quiet, or detached style of love may feel overpowered by Leo's fire. Yet, for those who are ready to dive fully into passion, to meet Leo's energy with their own, the relationship becomes a dance of light and warmth. Leo's flame is also deeply tied to pride. They want their love story to be something others admire, something worth telling. This pride pushes them to constantly give more, create more, and prove the strength of their devotion. However, it can also lead to moments where they seek validation, needing reassurance that their partner truly sees the magnitude of their love. For Leo, love is both personal and public. It's about what happens privately between two people, but also about the image of their bond in the eyes of the world. Ultimately, the passionate flame in Leo's love is a dual force. It is life-giving and radiant, capable of creating some of the most unforgettable relationships. It fills the heart with joy, ignites ambition, and inspires both partners to live more fully. At the same time, it requires respect, attention, and balance. To love a Leo is to step into the warmth of the sun itself, bright, sustaining, but always demanding acknowledgement. For those who can embrace the flame without fear, Leo's love is a rare gift. It teaches that romance is not just about comfort but about energy, about choosing to live with fire in the heart. And once you've experienced that flame, it's nearly impossible to settle for anything less. And now, a little side note. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a thanks button right under this video. Your support truly helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's continue. The boldness and honesty in relationships. Leos are direct. If they love you, you will know it with no hesitation, no confusing signals, no second guessing. They don't believe in making someone guess their feelings or analyze cryptic behaviors the way some signs might. When Leo cares, their affection is obvious, visible, and often dramatic. Their honesty shines like the midday sun, unapologetically bright, impossible to miss, and sometimes even impossible to hide from. A Leo will not whisper their love through vague hints or cautious pauses. They will look you straight in the eye and tell you exactly how they feel, as if the truth itself is a gift they are unwrapping for you. And when they reveal this truth, they expect you to be equally clear, equally transparent, equally courageous. For Leo, honesty is not simply the act of admitting emotions, it is a philosophy, a guiding principle. They live by the belief that relationships built on secrecy or ambiguity will eventually collapse. So when they love, they bring forth the fullness of that emotion, without shame, without restraint. To them, playing games in romance feels like dishonoring love itself. They are warriors of sincerity, champions of candor, protectors of directness. Even if the truth hurts, Leo would rather feel the sting of honesty than the fog of deception. And this is where their boldness becomes unmistakable. That boldness doesn't stop at words, it flows into action. Leos are not afraid to take the first step, to be the one who leans in first for the kiss, to be the one who admits, "I love you," before the other person dares to say it. They believe in risking rejection if it means living authentically. Their hearts are too big, too alive, too fierce to stay hidden behind silence. Imagine someone walking into a crowded room, bypassing all distractions, and declaring with absolute certainty, "I choose you." That's Leo in their purest form. Radiant, confident, magnetic, and unafraid of showing vulnerability. For their partner, this boldness can feel like being swept into a whirlwind of certainty, a refreshing, exhilarating break from the hesitant, guarded approach that so many others bring to love. Yet honesty and boldness are not without their sharp edges. While Leo's straightforwardness eliminates many misunderstandings, it can also create tension. Their truth-telling is raw, sometimes unfiltered, sometimes too much for sensitive hearts to handle. Leos don't sugarcoat, they don't cushion their words with endless diplomacy. When something bothers them, they will say it. When they feel hurt, they will express it. When they see potential in a partner, they will push them to recognize it too. This candor can feel like a blessing for those who crave clarity, but for those who bruise easily, Leo's directness may sting like the sudden brightness of sunlight after walking out of a dark room. But here lies the paradox. Leo's honesty, though sometimes fierce, comes from a place of deep respect. They believe their partner deserves truth, not illusions. To a Leo, concealing feelings is equivalent to denying intimacy. Their rawness is proof of their loyalty, because they would never waste their time on half-truths with someone they don't care about. So while their words may cut, their intentions heal, because in every sharp truth lies their unwavering devotion to authenticity. This boldness also sets the tone for the relationship. Leo expects their partner to be equally strong, equally straightforward, equally capable of meeting them at eye level. They do not want someone who constantly retreats into silence, who avoids confrontation, or who hides their feelings behind subtle gestures. To love a Leo is to stand tall beside them, to speak with clarity, to embrace authenticity. Anything less feels dishonest, and dishonesty is something Leo will never accept in love. At the same time, their boldness can be intoxicating. Their declarations of love, their fearless vulnerability, their dramatic honesty, all of it creates a sense of security that many people spend their lives searching for. When Leo loves you, you don't wonder, you don't question, you don't doubt. You know, their commitment shines through their eyes, their touch, their voice, their every action. And that certainty is both rare and precious in a world where so many are afraid to expose their hearts. Yet boldness has its costs. Leos sometimes forget that not everyone can handle the full intensity of their honesty. Their straightforward nature can come across as arrogance or insensitivity to those who value diplomacy and tact. They may believe they are offering clarity, while their partner feels criticized or overwhelmed. Sensitive signs may need reassurance that Leo's bluntness is not cruelty, but a declaration of trust. For Leo, growth in love often means learning when to soften their delivery, when to let their truth breathe gently rather than roar like a flame. Still, it is their courage that defines them. Leo's love is not built on hesitation, but on daring. They risk vulnerability because they believe that love without risk is not truly love. Their boldness inspires their partner to step up, to speak their own truths, to stop hiding behind fear or doubt. In this way, Leo doesn't just offer honesty, they invite transformation. They push their partners to discover the strength of their own voice, the power of their own heart. And once someone has learned to love with that level of directness, they rarely return to the shadows of half-spoken words. In the end, Leo's boldness and honesty are gifts wrapped in fire. They may burn at times, but they also illuminate, they warm, they guide. To be loved by a Leo is to be immersed in truth, to be swept up in fearless declarations, to be held in a bond where doubt cannot survive. For those who crave clarity, passion, and fearless expression, Leo's way of loving is a dream come true. For those who fear intensity, it can be overwhelming. But one thing is certain, with Leo, you will never be left wondering. Their heart speaks loudly, their soul acts bravely, and their love declares itself in every possible way. Because for Leo, love is too sacred to be hidden, too powerful to be whispered, too important to be diluted. It deserves boldness, it deserves honesty, and that is exactly what they give, always, fearlessly, completely. The joy and challenges of loving zodiac signs that harmonize in love. Some signs blend with Leo's fiery, sunlit energy so naturally that it feels as though the universe specifically conspired to bring them together. Aries, Sagittarius, and Gemini are three of the most striking examples of zodiac partners who harmonize with Leo's nature. Each of these signs has qualities that not only complement Leo but also bring out different shades of their vibrant personality. Together, they form bonds that can feel exhilarating, uplifting, and in many cases, unforgettable. Yet as with all powerful connections, harmony doesn't mean perfection. It means a delicate dance between joy and challenge, between shared fire and individual needs. When Leo encounters Aries, it's as though two flames instantly recognize each other. Both are fire signs, bold and daring, and both thrive on passion, intensity, and momentum. Aries admires Leo's regal confidence, their courage to shine unapologetically, and their ability to turn love into a grand adventure. Leo, in turn, respects Aries' fearless energy and their willingness to meet life head-on. Together, they create a dynamic duo filled with sparks, laughter, and a sense of unstoppable forward motion. They understand each other's appetite for excitement and refuse to let life slip into dullness. The chemistry is magnetic, and for those who witness them, it often feels like watching a power couple whose energy could light up a room. But with two strong personalities like Leo and Aries, competition naturally arises. Both want to lead, both want to make decisions, and both want to shine. While this competition can create a thrilling dynamic, it can also spark conflict if neither partner learns to step back occasionally. For Leo, the challenge is accepting that Aries won't always defer to their leadership. For Aries, the challenge is realizing that Leo's pride requires acknowledgement and admiration. Yet when they manage to find balance, this union becomes a firestorm of passion and teamwork, where both individuals push each other to greater heights. Then there is Sagittarius, the fellow fire sign who sees the world as one big playground of adventure. When Leo pairs with Sagittarius, the connection feels like an endless summer, sunny, lighthearted, full of spontaneous laughter and boundless optimism. Sagittarius thrives on freedom and exploration, and Leo thrives on joy and celebration. Together, they inspire each other to travel, to experience, to dream bigger than before. The energy between them is rarely stagnant. It's in motion, filled with plans, jokes, and shared visions of what life can be. Leo feels adored by Sagittarius' enthusiasm, and Sagittarius feels fueled by Leo's warmth and loyalty. The joy of this pairing lies in the mutual love for excitement. Both signs want life to feel extraordinary, and neither shies away from bold gestures of love. Sagittarius admires Leo's generosity and loyalty, while Leo finds Sagittarius' adventurous spirit refreshing. However, challenges appear when Sagittarius' need for independence collides with Leo's need for steady devotion. Leo craves consistency, a guarantee that their partner will always be by their side, while Sagittarius often needs freedom to roam, explore, and breathe. If Leo clings too tightly, Sagittarius may feel trapped. If Sagittarius pulls away too far, Leo may feel abandoned or unappreciated. This balancing act requires trust, understanding, and a willingness to compromise. When achieved, the partnership feels like one of the most liberating yet secure bonds Leo can ever have. And then comes Gemini, the air sign whose playfulness and curiosity bring a completely different kind of harmony to Leo's fiery soul. Gemini has a way of keeping Leo entertained with their quick wit, clever banter, and endless curiosity about the world. Where Leo brings grand gestures and radiant confidence, Gemini adds sparkle through humor, ideas, and adaptability. Leo loves the way Gemini can light up a conversation and keep things lively, while Gemini admires Leo's larger-than-life presence and steady loyalty. Together, they create a relationship that is intellectually stimulating, socially exciting, and full of shared fun. But Gemini's light, shifting nature is both the gift and the challenge. Leo seeks unwavering devotion, a constant flame that reassures them of their partner's loyalty. Gemini, however, craves variety, freedom, and sometimes flits from one interest to another with little warning. For Leo, this inconsistency can feel unsettling, even painful, as they worry that Gemini's attention might drift elsewhere. For Gemini, Leo's demand for steady commitment can feel stifling if not handled with sensitivity. The key lies in communication. Leo must learn to trust Gemini's playful spirit without mistaking it for disloyalty, while Gemini must reassure Leo that beneath all their curiosity lies a core of affection that doesn't waver. In these relationships with Aries, Sagittarius, and Gemini, joy flows easily because Leo feels both admired and understood. These signs provide the kind of energy that fuels Leo's flame rather than dims it. Aries brings passion and strength, Sagittarius brings laughter and adventure, and Gemini brings wit and curiosity. Each of these partners has the ability to reflect back to Leo their most radiant qualities, while also adding their own unique spark to the fire. For Leo, such bonds feel like stepping into partnerships where both people thrive, both shine, and both push each other to live more fully. But even in these harmonious connections, challenges cannot be ignored. Two fire signs together can create heat, passion, and energy, but that fire can also consume if not managed carefully. Who leads? Who steps back? Who softens when pride rises? With Gemini, the air that fans Leo's flame can also create unpredictability, making Leo long for stability. Yet when these challenges are met with maturity, compromise, and respect, the partnerships transform into some of the most rewarding, exciting, and inspiring relationships Leo will ever experience. Because ultimately, harmonizing with Leo means not only celebrating their fire but also respecting it. It means knowing when to dance in the flames and when to step back to keep the warmth from turning into a blaze. And when that balance is found, the joy is undeniable. Love with Leo becomes a golden stage where both hearts shine together, not in competition, but in radiant partnership. Zodiac signs that struggle in love. On the other hand, certain zodiac pairings push Leo in ways that feel less like a joyful dance and more like a lesson in patience, humility, and resilience. While Leo thrives on warmth, recognition, and grand expressions of affection, some signs move through love differently, more cautiously, more quietly, or with an intensity that doesn't match Leo's bright, radiant energy. Taurus, Scorpio, and Capricorn are three examples of signs that often challenge Leo's heart. These relationships are not doomed, nor are they devoid of beauty, but they require both partners to stretch far beyond their natural tendencies. For Leo, this means stepping outside their comfort zone, learning to balance their fiery pride with tolerance, and discovering that love isn't always about being adored. It's also about understanding, compromise, and shared growth. Taurus is the first to test Leo's rhythm. At their core, Taurus is loyal, dependable, and deeply affectionate, but they move at a slower, steadier pace than Leo is accustomed to. Taurus prefers comfort, stability, and predictability. They build love like they would a home, brick by brick, secure, reliable, unshakable. Leo, by contrast, is a spark of fire who wants to ignite passion immediately, to feel romance like fireworks that light up the sky. For Leo, Taurus' deliberate pace can feel frustrating, even suffocating at times. What Leo views as lack of passion, Taurus views as patience. What Leo sees as predictability, Taurus sees as security. This difference in tempo often becomes the root of conflict. Yet beneath that tension lies potential. Taurus has the ability to teach Leo the value of slowing down, of savoring stability rather than chasing constant excitement. Leo, in turn, can remind Taurus that love doesn't have to be dull to be reliable, that romance and stability can coexist. But making this union work requires compromise. Leo must temper their hunger for grand, fiery moments of validation and learn to appreciate Taurus' quieter, steadier forms of love, like the simple comfort of a partner who shows up day after day. Taurus, on the other hand, must step out of their comfort zone to fuel Leo's need for passion, admiration, and recognition. Without this exchange, Leo may feel bored, and Taurus may feel exhausted. Together, however, they can build a love that blends warmth with endurance. Scorpio presents a completely different challenge. Both Leo and Scorpio crave deep, transformative love, but their methods of experiencing it are almost polar opposites. Leo wants love to shine openly, to exist in the sunlight where everyone can see their devotion. Scorpio, by contrast, wants love to exist in the shadows, in private spaces filled with intimacy, secrecy, and unspoken intensity. Scorpio's love is probing, consuming, and often tinged with mystery. Leo's love is radiant, bold, and expressive. Put together, the two can feel magnetically drawn to each other yet constantly at odds. For Leo, Scorpio's secretive tendencies can feel frustrating or even threatening. Leo thrives on clarity, on knowing where they stand, on receiving admiration that is expressed openly and proudly. Scorpio, however, does not reveal themselves easily. They prefer to observe, to test, to peel back layers slowly. To Leo, this can feel like rejection or emotional distance, while to Scorpio, Leo's open declarations of love can seem performative or superficial. Both want intensity, both want loyalty, but the ways they demand it differ so drastically that misunderstandings are almost inevitable. Still, this pairing carries extraordinary potential for growth. Scorpio can teach Leo the value of emotional depth that doesn't always need an audience, while Leo can show Scorpio the healing power of openness and joy. But this is not an easy lesson for either. Leo must accept that Scorpio's love is not less real simply because it hides in shadow, and Scorpio must accept that Leo's need for recognition is not vanity but an expression of their fiery nature. If both partners can bridge these differences, they form a bond that is as transformative as it is challenging, a union of sunlight and shadow, fire and water, openness and secrecy. Then there is Capricorn, a sign as grounded and disciplined as Leo is dramatic and expressive. Capricorn builds love like they build their careers, carefully, responsibly, with long-term goals in mind. They value structure, order, and effort. Leo, on the other hand, loves to celebrate, to shine, to express affection in big, dramatic ways. Capricorn may find these displays unnecessary, frivolous, or distracting from practical concerns. Leo may, in turn, see Capricorn as too cold, too restrained, too focused on duties rather than pleasures. This difference in values can create a gulf between them. Capricorn admires Leo's passion but doesn't always understand it. To them, love is proven through consistency, through the daily grind, through sacrifice and discipline. Leo, however, thrives on adoration, praise, and recognition. When Capricorn withholds constant admiration, because they see it as unnecessary or even indulgent, Leo feels invisible, unappreciated, unloved. For Leo, silence is rejection. For Capricorn, silence is simply stability. This mismatch can create pain if neither partner adjusts. Yet, when balanced, Leo and Capricorn can bring out the best in each other. Leo encourages Capricorn to lighten up, to celebrate life, to remember that love is not just about hard work but about joy. Capricorn grounds Leo, reminding them that not every day can be a festival, and that true devotion often shines brightest in quiet loyalty. Together, they have the potential to blend passion with perseverance, glamour with grit, celebration with responsibility. But it requires humility from Leo and flexibility from Capricorn, qualities neither sign easily embraces. These relationships, Leo with Taurus, Scorpio, and Capricorn, are not easy roads. They demand compromise, patience, and the courage to embrace difference rather than fight it. Leo must learn to temper their need for constant validation and dramatic expression. Taurus, Scorpio, and Capricorn, in turn, must learn to honor Leo's fiery heart, recognizing that their need for admiration and recognition is not weakness, but an essential part of who they are. When successful, these unions prove that love isn't always about ease or instant harmony. Sometimes love is about stretching, about growing, about learning to see the world through another's eyes. Taurus teaches Leo patience and stability. Scorpio teaches Leo depth and mystery. Capricorn teaches Leo discipline and endurance. And Leo, in turn, teaches each of these signs about joy, radiance, and the beauty of living love out loud. These relationships show that the fire of love doesn't always burn smoothly. Sometimes it flickers, sometimes it smolders, sometimes it clashes with forces that seem to extinguish it. But if both partners are willing to fight for balance, the flame not only survives but grows stronger. And for Leo, who thrives on challenges as much as they thrive on adoration, these difficult unions may become the very experiences that teach them the most about what it truly means to love. The growth Leo brings into love. Perhaps the most beautiful, almost poetic, aspect of Leo in love is not just the brilliance of their passion or the loyalty of their heart, but their undeniable power to inspire growth, both in themselves and in their partners. Being loved by a Leo is like standing in the center of a spotlight that never dims. It's as though someone has turned the sun directly toward you, illuminating not just your best features but also the hidden parts of yourself you didn't know could glow. A Leo's love is empowering, radiant, and affirming. They push their partners to believe in themselves more fiercely, to stand taller, to stop shrinking into the shadows of self-doubt. For Leo, lifting someone up is as natural as shining. It is simply what they do. Imagine being in a relationship where your every effort, every talent, every small success is met with applause and encouragement. That is what it feels like to be with a Leo. They have an almost magical ability to see potential in the people they love, even when that person cannot see it in themselves. They will cheer their partner on in their career, their creative passions, their dreams, and even in their struggles. A Leo does not settle for watching someone they love play small. They want to see them rise, to thrive, to step into the kind of life that feels worthy of the light Leo naturally provides. And in this way, Leo becomes not just a lover, but a mentor, a coach, and a believer in their partner's greatness. But the story of growth does not stop at what Leo gives, it also extends to what Leo receives. Love, for Leo, is a mirror. It reflects back to them their strengths, but also their flaws, their blind spots, their unacknowledged lessons. Because Leo is ruled by the sun, their instinct is always to shine, to be the source of warmth, to be noticed. They crave admiration not out of vanity, but out of a deep need to feel that their light is valued. Yet, love teaches Leo that constant recognition is not always the point. True partnership is not about one person being the star and the other orbiting quietly around them. It is about balance, reciprocity, and shared brilliance. In this way, love humbles Leo. It reminds them that they do not always need to be the loudest voice or the brightest presence in the room. Sometimes, the most powerful expression of love is stepping back, allowing their partner to shine, applauding from the sidelines rather than always standing center stage. This act of yielding, of making space for another person's light, is a profound form of growth for Leo, one that transforms them from a fiery performer into a wise and generous lover. Leo's growth in love also emerges through patience. Their fiery nature often craves immediate devotion, constant affection, and grand displays of loyalty. But real relationships are not always theatrical. They are filled with quieter moments, with steady rhythms, with times of stillness rather than applause. In these moments, Leo learns that love is not measured only in dramatic gestures but in the quiet endurance of everyday care. They grow by realizing that their partner's love may not always be expressed as loudly as their own, yet it is no less real, no less powerful. Another area where Leo grows profoundly is in the art of listening. Because they are so naturally expressive, Leos sometimes dominate the space in a relationship, speaking, performing, sharing, giving. But when they learn to listen deeply, to not just hear but to understand, their love becomes even more meaningful. Listening teaches them that their partner's needs, fears, and desires are just as important as their own. This shift from self-centered expression to shared dialogue is one of the clearest markers of Leo's maturity in love. A mature Leo comes to understand that true love is not a stage with only one star. It is a duet, where two voices harmonize rather than compete, where both individuals shine in their own way without diminishing each other. This realization is transformative. It reshapes Leo's understanding of love from something that is fueled by admiration alone to something that is sustained by respect, equality, and generosity. They move from being performers seeking validation to becoming partners who nurture mutual growth. For their partner, this growth is a gift. It means that Leo's love is not just empowering in the beginning stages, when everything feels fiery and exciting, but also enduring and stabilizing over time. It means Leo can evolve from the lover who dazzles you with grand gestures to the companion who sustains you through life's challenges with wisdom, patience, and loyalty. The growth Leo brings into love also touches on their ability to inspire confidence in their partner while simultaneously taming their own pride. They realize that love is not about constant applause or eternal spotlight but about the quiet, unglamorous acts of devotion, like listening when their partner is tired, compromising when conflict arises, or offering support without expecting recognition. In these moments, Leo grows softer, wiser, more grounded, and yet no less radiant. Ultimately, the journey of Leo in love is the journey of transformation. They begin as fiery performers, dazzling lovers, radiant beings who want to be admired and adored. But through the experience of genuine love, they evolve into wise partners who understand that sustaining a flame is just as important as igniting it. They learn that empowering their partner, making space for their light, and creating balance in the relationship is what keeps love alive for the long term. And so, the growth Leo brings into love is a cycle, a gift they give and a gift they receive. They inspire their partners to rise into their fullest potential, and in return, love teaches Leo humility, patience, and the beauty of shared brilliance. The result is a transformation so powerful that both Leo and their partner walk away stronger, more radiant, and more deeply connected to what it truly means to love. Final thoughts. To love a Leo is to enter into a kind of romance that feels larger than life, almost cinematic in its scope and texture. It is to love boldly, passionately, and without hesitation, because Leo does not know how to do it any other way. Their affection is not quiet, tentative, or halfway. It is grand, radiant, and all-encompassing. When they love, they pour themselves into it with a kind of intensity that demands attention. Their loyalty is unwavering, their presence unforgettable, their devotion something that leaves a permanent mark on the soul of the one they choose. Yet with all that intensity comes responsibility, because such a flame must be tended with care. It is a love that thrives on balance between admiration and humility, between passion and patience, between the thrill of the fire and the calm of the warmth it provides. Leo teaches us something essential about love: it is not meant to be timid. It is not meant to live in the shadows, hidden away, muffled by fear. Love, through the eyes of Leo, is meant to be experienced in full color, full voice, full expression. It should be felt deeply in the chest, spoken openly without hesitation, and lived fully with courage and joy. They remind us that love is not a half measure, it is a commitment to stepping into the sunlight, even when the brightness feels overwhelming. They invite their partners to embrace that warmth, to bask in it, to allow themselves to be seen in ways they never thought possible. But stepping into the light of Leo's love is not without its demands. The sun does not dim for anyone. It shines in its full glory whether the world is ready or not. To be with a Leo means accepting this radiance, not trying to shrink it, hide it, or tame it. It means embracing the brilliance of their presence and allowing it to blend with your own. Leo does not want a partner who hides in their shadow. They want someone who shines alongside them, someone who can stand with equal courage and share the stage of life. That is the secret to sustaining their love, not shrinking before their light but learning to glow with them, harmonizing brilliance instead of competing with it. Because when Leo loves, they do not merely offer their heart as a quiet gesture. They offer something much greater, their very flame. This flame is both gift and challenge. It can warm you, inspire you, guide you, and illuminate your path in ways you never imagined. But it can also test your strength, asking whether you are willing to hold something so powerful without fear. To love a Leo is to prove that you can handle intensity, that you can meet fire with resilience, that you can cherish warmth without taking it for granted. And if you can, the reward is extraordinary. That flame will light your world, chasing away doubts, insecurities, and shadows you didn't know you carried. It will empower you, reminding you that love is not supposed to be small or safe, but something that expands who you are. It will teach you that real devotion is not measured in whispered words but in bold actions, radiant gestures, and a willingness to risk vulnerability for the sake of connection. Leo's love transforms not just the relationship, but the very person who dares to embrace it. In the end, the final thought on Leo in love is this: theirs is a love that demands courage but gives back tenfold. It is not always easy, not always calm, but it is always real. It calls for balance, patience, and the willingness to shine. It is a love that inspires growth, joy, and self-discovery. If you can accept the heat, if you can stand in the light without shrinking away, if you can love with the same boldness that Leo offers, then you will find yourself in a bond unlike any other. Because a Leo's love is not just romance, it is fire, it is sunlight, it is life itself.